Kyle's Top 5 Favorite Listeners. My name is Kyle Kohler, and this is Kyle's Top 5 Favorite Podcast. To one very special listener, tell the guys that I said hi for me. Today's podcast is brought to you by Tonality Productions, which is my little production company that I've started. Coming up, I am doing an EP release party for a band called Blood Boy in Hollywood on October 20th. Also, I have Steve Aoki at the Newport Dunes on October 29th. I'm doing a live podcast with Shep Gordon and Alice Cooper at the Bootleg on October 31st, Halloween. And that one's going to be awesome. I would recommend watching The Mensch on Netflix. And also I have the OC Weekly Christmas party. It's called Holiday Smash or something like that. Is December 11th at the Club AV in Irvine. That one's going to be a good one. If you want to come out to anything, let me know. Also, I'll be at the Observatory a bunch this month. They got a lot of good shows, Beach Goth, all that good shit. We could do a whole podcast on Beach Goth moving locations 2 weeks before the event starts, but I digress. All right, but today I'm going to talk about a really cool and really interesting web series that got picked up by HBO called High Maintenance. So I'm going to talk about what the show is, what I think it's doing for the television business, the streaming business, and we're going to talk about some of the cool shit that I really like in there. High Maintenance. It was a web series that kind of lived on places like Vimeo and IndieWire for a long time. It was created in 2012 by a couple named Ben Sinclair and Katja Blichfeld. And what it is the show follows around a bike delivery, weed dealer guy. He's a bike messenger who delivers weed in kind of Brooklyn area of New York. And it's played brilliantly by Ben Sinclair. We don't know the character's name. His name is just the guy. And that's kind of the only backbone, the only kind of running theme that this show has is the sense that he's the main character, but we don't know anything about him, even down to his name. All we know is he's this bike messenger who delivers weed. So I would almost think that, well, yeah, he's this storyteller. The main character really is New York, is Queens and Brooklyn and New York City and all the boroughs, and getting to watch that, especially living out on the West Coast where cars are such a vital part of our existence, watching this show that really brings out a fresh character of New York, takes what Louis does and kind of went to a different level with that, making New York this main character. In that, though, obviously, like any major metropolitan city, New York has a cast of characters living in it within itself that are truly amazing and unique. And this show does such a brilliant job of telling so many different stories of so many different people. But yet there is this one common denominator, and that is they all just want to get fucking stoned. And that is such an intriguing and brilliant idea to make a show about that. And that's really what High Maintenance is all about. I think it's cool. I think HBO is facing hard times right now. They've had a couple of Vinyl was a complete disaster. Vinyl was this show they put out, and it tanked. So they put a lot of money into that. And now they're investing a little more in more of the guerrilla campaigning web series look, which I think is cool. I think it's good to see HBO still have a dog in that fight. You can see them having a hard time competing with Hulu and Netflix, and even now Amazon Prime, contending with content. Rolling Stone just put out the 101 greatest television shows of all time, and number 1 was The Sopranos, number 2 is The Wire, and those are both HBO shows. So HBO has this storied history of great television shows, and yet they're having a hard time finding their footing now. They have a bunch of eggs in the Wild West or Westworld show, and it's too early to tell, but it looks rough. Game of Thrones obviously right now is their bread and butter, but they're also seeing a big uptick in things like Girls, Silicon Valley, kind of the low budget indie comedies are where they're thriving. So to see them take a web series on that they pretty much own now and put out all of their web episodes on HBO Go of High Maintenance, pretty cool idea. And HBO did a great job of marketing it and campaigning it. And now it's transitioned into a 30-minute sitcom that is beautifully shot, that tells a much bigger and deeper story and is able to go places that we would have never have seen before. The freshness of this show is really what makes it. The incredible sense of what this show is and the vastness that it has to be able to tell the stories that it tells is so intriguing right off the bat. To be able to follow this guy into so many different people's homes. You're going into people's homes, you're going into their pocketbooks, you're going into their lifestyles, and you're going to them. And that's really what this show does. It takes you to them instead of bringing them to you. So you're just with this bike messenger guy intertwined with the rest of the world around him. And that's a really unique take on a television show, especially one that runs the way that this one does. The mystery of this show is also kind of a charismatic character in the sense that I don't know the main character's name. I don't know where he lives. I don't know how he got this job. I don't know a whole lot about him, but you're just slowly getting an IV drip as to who this character is. We know he's not married, but he wears a wedding ring. We know he has a niece, but he doesn't, seem to... He has a dealer that he gets his shit from, but he doesn't have a consistent job. How do people get to know him? We don't know. So it's kind of cool that they're slowly letting that story unfold itself, but yet still keeping you intrigued in these individual storylines that they tell per different episode. Now, to open up into those individual storylines, they're able to really cover a lot of space. They're able to really cast a wide net into the stories that they can tell. And they're also not committed to one particular storyline. They can go into something completely ridiculous, like a girl jerking off two cooks at her Jewish holiday that she's having with her family because she got stomach. To a woman with stomach cancer not being able to eat for 3 weeks and finally getting her appetite. To a comedian facing national publicity on a shooting that happens at his own nightclub. To a cross-dresser who the weed dealer is the first person that the cross-dresser sees. It's a whole... They're able to really get a lot of stories, cram a lot of different stories and intriguing storylines into this story plot that they've built. It's very cool. I would definitely recommend checking it out. If you like anything in the vein of Louie, Girls, there's another show on Netflix called Easy that kind of plays into that same vibe. I would definitely recommend checking it out. Watch the web series first. It's only 7 to 10 minutes long. Get into those. They're an easy binge. You can slam them out in a night. And now it's on HBO, 30-minute episodes. I think they put them out like it's either Friday or Saturday or Sunday. It's sometime during the weekend, and they'll just be on HBO Go, and it's well worth it. There's a great episode with a dog, by the way, that the dog plays kind of the character of the show, and the dog really steals that episode. A couple other things going on that are pretty cool. I really thought Stranger Things was awesome. I really thought that Easy is a cool show. Obviously, Love was great. We talked about Horace and Pete. We talked about Man Seeking Woman. Ray Donovan came and went. Roadies sucked. Vinyl, obviously, was a disaster. Common themes, keep it up. Netflix, HBO, gotta get on HBO and Showtime. You gotta get on your game. You guys are gonna get run over by these streaming networks. Are just gonna demolish you if you don't get it together. I'm hopefully gonna be doing more podcasts. I want to do 3 or 4 in the next couple days and let you guys have them. They're gonna be short like this one. And thanks for hanging. We'll talk. Watch High Maintenance, and we'll see you around.